Well, after some extended time away making no videos, I am behind on a lot of stories. Probably talking about a few of them, but I figure I might as well go ahead and just jump in and let's talk about the elephant in the room. No pun intended, since this has to do with Republicans for the most part. Roe v. Wade overturned. Okay, so Supreme Court, we got the leak a little while back. Supreme Court said that, there were the rumors from the leak that they were looking to overturn Roe v. Wade. In particular, one of the main people pushing this concept, Justice Clarence Thomas. Okay, we'll get back to him in just a minute, but as of yesterday, it happened. Roe was overturned. This automatically triggers in certain states for abortions to be illegal. They had it in their laws that basically, should this ever be overturned, abortion would automatically become illegal. Okay. But what this actually did was it just turned it back over to the states for the states to decide what their laws about abortion should be. Okay. Now, I put out a tweet on Twitter. I don't support the decision here. I'll go into that in a little bit. But at the same time, as expected, there are a lot of people who had the reaction that I expected them to have. We're getting riots around the country. We've got people who are protesting the decision, and their way of protesting this outcome is, I'm going to twerk. And I'm out here twerking and shaking my ass. Like, what the fuck? And by the way, if you look at where these protests are going on, it is in these blue-ass states like California and New York. Guess what? They're not going to pass laws in those states that are going to ban abortions. If there was going to be one where that's going to happen, it's going to be one like my state, South Carolina. We're heavy Republican. States like mine could possibly have that problem. The only reason you guys would have reason to worry would be if the Republicans ever gain back control of Congress and the White House and then pass legislation making it illegal at the federal level. Then you would have a problem. And could that possibly happen at this point? It's possible. Republicans do not want it around. Okay. But for all the people who are out there, I mean, this is like the summer of 2020 2.0 is how we're starting off. Will it last? I don't know, but I would say possibly so. I mean, people are out here smashing in windows. They're attacking people on the sidewalks. They're attacking passing vehicles. And again, I always say to this, what the fuck is your goal? Like, who do you think you're going to convince to join your cause by harming people that are not the ones responsible for what you're pissed off about? I mean, it's a sign of the society that we live in, and just how ignorant people are about how to produce real change. I mean, hell, that was apparent from the fact that they keep voting for Democrats and Republicans all this time. But for God's sakes, we really, as a society, are fucking clueless, aren't we? I mean, I'm becoming slowly more and more of a nihilist, honestly. I honestly, I look at what the fuck is going on, and it looks like we as a country are just heading for a cliff. And the brakes are gone, and the throttle's all the way to the floor, okay? We're going as hard as we can with no fucking brakes, and sooner or later, our ass is going over. Okay? I mean, I don't know what can stop it at this point. And maybe people don't want to hear that, but that's honestly how I feel about stuff at this point. I pretty much lost hope in people. I really have. Because, let's be honest, there are reasons why a woman may need to have an abortion. But there are also people who are just fucking irresponsible. And I'm sorry, but there is a side of me that just doesn't like the idea of people doing something that creates fucking babies, and then because they don't want to raise a fucking baby, just killing it. And then there's going to be the argument, oh, well, it's just cells and it's not actually harming anything. And it's like, yeah, okay, blah, 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 blah. Got news for you. If that woman decided to keep that child at the exact same time that she got that abortion, however many weeks early on, where you're saying it's in cellular form and it feels no pain because it couldn't live outside the womb, okay? You make all those points, but I got news for you. In most places and in most cases, if a woman at that same period of pregnancy were to be killed, the person who killed them would be charged with a double homicide. Why? Because the law says you killed two people. Now, if you don't agree with that, why don't you push to get that law changed then? But as the law stands in regards to that, it would be killing two people. So there are reasons why I don't find, the big justification on some of that stuff. But overall, it's not my place to tell someone else what they can and can't do with their body. Even if I disagree with what's going on, it's not my place. I feel the same way about that as I do about the vaccine stuff, which we'll get back to in just a moment, right? But the thing is, you're really getting a good look at how this ideological hypocrisy can bite you in the fucking ass. Think about it. The left for years and years and years and years and years have always been about it's my body and my choice until 2020 and 2021. And then a lot of these Democrats and liberals decided all of a sudden they were more like the conservative Republicans than they ever thought they were. They just have a difference in opinion of when my body, my choice applies. And it just seems to conveniently apply to whatever the fuck they at that time want it to apply to. But it cannot be applied equally across the board. Oh, hell no. No. To Democrats and liberals, my body, my choice applies. To me being able to fuck all I want, possibly create babies, but not have to raise them and can kill them, get rid of them, and abort them any damn time I please, and you can't fucking tell me otherwise. And if I want to do it, I'm entitled to do it, and you just have to fucking live with it. Now, to others, it also just means there are other things. Let me clarify something. That is not all the cases of abortion, okay? There are other reasons why a woman would possibly want or need an abortion other than just being reckless. I'm not a fucking blockhead here, okay? There are many women who have been raped, and they don't want to have to live with that for the rest of their life in the form of a child, okay? Fair enough. I'm not going to say that woman should have to carry that child to term, okay? No, I don't think anyone should try to tell a woman to do that. Other women shouldn't try to tell a woman to do that. That is her choice. She did not make that child consensually. You should not fucking try to force that upon her, right? Other cases, like there have been ladies who've miscarried. And then there's some shit where it's like, okay, we got to carry it to term because it would be considered abortion. It's like, that could kill her. So if it's like shit in the case for the life of the mother or something, right? Other instances would be like if you find out your child's going to have some sort of serious handicap, okay? And you can't financially care for that kid if it's got those kind of medical issues. I mean, that's a heartbreaking fucking decision. I would think if a woman, a mother, was carrying a child to that point, intending to give birth, and found that out, and then knew deep down, I don't have the money to care for something. For a kid like that, I just don't have the money to do it. That's fucking heartbreaking. And all people are like, oh, well, you should have to do it anyway. Like, fuck you. It's not your life. I mean, I'm sure that person would be tortured by that decision. Okay? It's none of your fucking business at that point. Okay? So there are a lot of reasons why a woman may need this. But there are also the fucking ultra reckless ones out there too. My thing, though, is I don't think everyone should be punished because of the ultra fucking reckless. The people who just don't give a damn. Not everyone should be punished because of the actions of some. And I believe that on a lot of things. The problem is people kick and scream for the my body, my choice on the left when it came to abortions. And then when people that were right, independent, whatever, I was among one of those guys, said, I don't feel comfortable with this vaccine. I don't like how you're trying to force it upon us. Some people just don't want to take it, and that should be their body, their choice. Oh, no. Because you not taking the vaccine is a harm to the public. You are a threat to the good of the community. You threaten me, you upset me, and so therefore, no, it is your body, but it is my choice because I'm scared of your reckless attitude. Okay, well, I got news for you. Some people are scared of the reckless attitude of people who have no respect or regard for the creation of life and will just fucking toss it out like it's a piece of trash. Some of us don't feel comfortable with that either. But there's people like me who don't try to force how I feel about it off onto you. I've got my opinions. They're my opinions. But I'm not trying to push the law to change it either. But now you see why your hypocrisy bites you in the ass. You thought censorship of people you didn't agree with was okay, and now the censorship is fucking rampant. And sooner or later, it'll catch up to those, in some cases it already has, who promoted the fucking censorship. They will at some point be victims of it themselves. As far as the my body, my choice, your chickens have already now come home to roost. You tossed your fucking moral ground out the window during COVID, many of you. And I'm not saying you deserve what happened with Roe v. Wade. I'm simply saying this is what happens when you expose your hypocrisy and you lose support of certain people around you because you're obviously a fucking hypocrite. You don't truly believe in the concept of my body, my choice. You simply want it when it's convenient for you. But when there's something you don't want someone else to have autonomy over their body on, they don't get to decide and you do. Well, you're a fucking hypocrite. And then you get exactly what happened yesterday. You knew good and fucking well that the ultra right-wing Republicans and the hardcore evangelical base wanted this shit gone. That's been known for a very long time. And you have argued against them. You don't have the right to tell me what I can do with my fucking body. You've said that for years to decades. And then COVID came along and your whole fucking tune just changed now, didn't it? Your whole tune just, in the blink of an eye, no, screw your liberty. That doesn't matter. Screw your individual freedom. The threat to the community is more important than your freedoms and your liberty, and you will do what you're told, or you will suffer consequences as a result. You're going to do what we tell you to do. We want you to take this vaccine. You better take the vaccine. Or else. What is that shit? What is that? That is absolute hypocrisy. 100%. And let's take it a step further for all the people out there who are like, oh, Republicans this, Republicans that. Yes, absolutely. Republicans are responsible for this. Could they possibly try to ban it at the federal level later? Sure, they could. They absolutely could try to do that. And will they get the power to try to do that? Oh, it's very fucking likely at this point, even in spite of what just happened with Roe v. Wade. You know why? Because Democrats have ran our fucking economy into the dirt. Have you looked at the price of gas lately? Have you looked at the cost of food? Every damn thing around you is going up. And we thought wages were going up after COVID. We were like, oh, okay, people make a little more money. Well, that shit has fucking balanced right back out, possibly even worse than it was before, depending on where you're at. Everything is going up in price. People are hurting. Inflation is happening, and soon there will probably be big recession to go along with it. It's already kind of hitting. We're in bad shape here, guys. And so for all these people saying, oh, Democrats, well, you got to get the Democrats back in there. Understand, this is the same fucking party that's had the chance to codify Roe v. Wade. How many times? How many times have Democrats had the power to do this? Most recently, they damn sure had the ability to do it when Barack Obama was first elected. And they didn't do shit. They sat on their fucking hands just like they do for everything they tell their base that they're going to do. They did not codify Roe v. Wade. They did not legalize marijuana. They did not end the fucking wars. They actually increased that shit. They didn't raise a minimum wage. They didn't get us a fucking decent health care plan, and don't even fucking think about commenting about Obamacare, because that was one big steaming pile of fucking right-wing conservative horse shit. It fucking was Mitt Romney's plan. It was drawn up by Republican think tanks. It was something Richard Nixon kind of tepidly proposed during the 70s. It was a fucking Republican plan. Oh, and by the way, they didn't get one Republican vote. Not that they needed them. They had over 60 Democrats in the Senate. They could have beat a filibuster. They had the majority in the House, and they had the fucking White House, and they didn't even get a fucking public option. That's Democrats for you. That's the Democrat Party. So you can talk all this shit about Republicans. You're not going to hear me criticize Republicans that way, because guess what? It's been obvious for years how fucked up Republicans are. But there are people who think there's some sort of salvation in the Democrat Party. And you are being fucking bamboozled. And you have been for a long time, but apparently people just don't fucking wake up to it. There's no need for me to tell you how bad Republicans are. MSNBC, CNN, and all the fucking rest will tell you that all day long. What they won't fucking tell you is how feckless and how fucking useless the Democrats are. Oh, and they are fucking useless. They don't get shit done. But people keep voting for them like they're this grand alternative to the Republican Party. And some of the things, like when people have said something about Roe, I got to touch on this before I wrap this up too. I've seen some people like complain about the gun stuff. They're like, oh, if you care about all these babies, why don't you care about doing something to restrict guns further because of what just happened at the school in Texas? And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? First of all, I'm not advocating for the fucking Texas school shooter, which I will be making a separate video about. I'm not advocating for the Texas school shooter that if he had lived through that incident, to get off scot-free. I'm saying people like him probably shouldn't be able to get their hands on a gun. I do see some logic and maybe a little stricter regulation, but you got to be careful with that shit, because who's fucking regulating? The Second Amendment is there to protect yourself against a fucking out-of-control government. And if you let a quote-unquote out-of-control government be the ones who regulate it, well, you see where that could become a problem. Second Amendment's there so I can protect myself, my home, my family, and defend myself against a government that has gotten out of control. That's what it's there for. Whether you like it or not, it wasn't there for fucking hunting and fishing. You had to do that to survive. They didn't fucking have a Piggly Wiggly. They didn't have an Ingalls. Okay? You didn't have these fucking things around when the Constitution was written. You didn't have that during the Bill of Rights. You didn't have that when the Founding Fathers were around. It's there so we can defend ourselves. And people who want to purchase guns should be able to be responsible gun owners. One thing I can find logic in, I could give complete support to this. You shouldn't be able to buy guns for a kid. They should be, like, if they want to buy a gun, then they have to wait till they're over age to go buy a gun. That I completely agree with. I'd have no problem with them doing away with something like that. But the argument that basically, because I don't want just guns to be gone, that I somehow don't care about kids, fuck you. It's got nothing to do with that. That's fucking tragedy what just happened in Texas. I don't want nuts getting their hands on these guns. No, I don't. But I'm not going to take them away from the people who would use guns responsibly. Just like with your abortion situation, I'm not going to hop on board the propaganda bandwagon of saying we should ban all abortions, because there are some reckless ones who don't respect life and just kill unborn kids willy-nilly. And they give a bad reputation to the women who have other legit medical reasons, perhaps, for why they are getting an abortion done. Or they were raped, or it was incest, or something along those lines, right? The women who have legit reasons for it and aren't just like, oh, I fucked a dude with no birth control, no condom, and told him, come inside me, daddy, and now I'm fucking pregnant, and he wants nothing to do with the kid, and I just want an abortion because fuck it, I don't want to raise a kid. I'm not saying ban all abortions because you have reckless fucking idiots like that out there. Then I apply that same logic to guns. I'm not saying get rid of all guns because you have a nut that went in and did something fucking terrible. I think we should both use common sense here and say there are some things we could do that have some fucking moral foundation here, and we shouldn't idolize either fucking side. I recognize that when I'm talking pro-guns, but for some reason, people don't seem to recognize that on the other side, do they? They'd go out and bash the fucking street up. Well, you realize, like, that's the shit they used to convince a lot of people why it was bad, right? They pointed to those examples. Same way you point towards a guy like the school shooter in Texas. That's for why we should all get rid of guns. And I got news for you. It's fucking loaded propaganda on both sides. You're building straw men both ways, and all the people who want to push that bullshit don't even fucking realize what kind of hypocrite they are. Truly. And this is what being a hypocrite gets you. You apply your fucking logic only when it's convenient to you, and you do not maintain it all the way across the board, and that always comes back to bite you right square in the ass. Will continue to do so as long as people want to act that way. What I'm really fucking hoping, though, is not the case, more so than anything, is this shit that this idiot Clarence Thomas, fucking Justice Thomas, whatever you want to call him, is now saying about we should revisit gay marriage and right to contraceptives. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Now, look, if you have this moral issue with the people I just referred to, or the reckless people who go out and get abortions, right? Well, understand fucking contraceptives is what you would want to fucking use to prevent that shit, right? Birth control, so you don't get fucking pregnant. Condoms, so you don't get the girl fucking pregnant. I mean, this is fucking so far backwards, it's nuts. And I really don't think they would try to take it that fucking far, because for God's sakes, if they do that, I don't even think Republicans can bounce back past that one. Like, I don't even think even the people who were kind of okay with Roe v. Wade being sent back to the states would be like, oh yeah, that makes good sense. I'm fine with that too. It's like, no, I think the normies out there would recognize you need that shit to prevent these pregnancies so you didn't have to have an abortion. That's the measures you take to prevent pregnancies that you didn't want yet. I mean, for fuck's sake, what are we just gonna all go just start fucking wearing chastity belts until we're married or some shit? I mean, let's get fucking real here, people. That shit's not gonna fucking happen. I don't even think they could get away with doing that. I certainly fucking hope not, because that is fucking that is so outdated thinking, man. I mean, it is just fucked up. I hope they don't try to take it that far, but who the fuck knows? I mean, we do live in the country where nothing makes fucking sense anymore. Honestly. You know, at this point, I'm here to observe, give my thoughts on it, and I'm just here for the ride, baby. But this shit don't fucking make sense anymore. The people don't make sense. The leaders are so fucking old that they naturally don't make sense, because most people with dementia don't. And we are just fucking doing dandy, aren't we? Oh, man. So, I mean, some other reasons, going back to something, I meant to bring this up earlier, talking about abortion, why you may not want to, demonize everyone. And this is where women who are upset have fucking logic on their side. Women who have, conditions like endometriosis and probably can't carry a child to term. One thing they could have done to just more or less take care of their issue would be to get a hysterectomy. What's fucked up, though, are in a lot of cases, there are women, like, they don't give you the surgery unless a man says it's okay. See, that's bullshit. No woman has to go with a man when he gets a vasectomy done and be like, oh, yeah, I'm okay with him putting his nuts out of commission. It's good with me. Snip, snip. Go ahead. Okay. That doesn't happen. So it shouldn't happen for a woman either. I mean, that's just bullshit. But ultimately, I'm not here to cheer on what happened because I don't agree with it. I also don't agree with why a lot of people get abortions, but I don't agree with this decision being overturned. Only thing I'm going to say is people should fucking take lessons from this. They really should. You really should. When you walk around saying I'm against this for years and years and years and years and years, but then the my body, my choice thing comes up for something else later on, fucking be consistent. Support it in whatever it has to do with. But you can't say it's my body, my choice when I want to have it that way for whether I carry a kid in my womb or not. But it's not your body, your choice when it comes to injecting something you don't trust yet into your body. That's just very fucking hypocritical. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment box down below. If you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. We've been MIA over here for a while, so help us out in the algorithm. And if you just found the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like the video. And if you do, make sure you ring the bell. Otherwise, they'll never tell you when I upload another video. It's just how YouTube does folks like us over here who talk about things the mainstream media won't tell you. But I appreciate everyone tuning in, watching the video. I hope you're all doing well. We'll see you next time right here on the Lone Wolf Podcast. Take care, everyone.